欢迎收听杂物间，
You are listening to The Storage Room,
你最好的口袋朋友。
your best pocket friend.
Okay, so in the last episode, Frank somehow educated us a little bit about the trend of this AI, and also he actually showed us the very specific steps if we want to be an influencer, or let's say if we want to be seen or heard, and how do we actually execute everything in a more efficient kind of way. And I do think this is gonna help a lot of people. Not only me, right? So we want to know a little bit about Frank. So Frank, in my eyes, Frank is young and talented, right? And he used to study in United States, and I heard he studied in a very famous university. So Frank, where did you study when you were in the United States?
I went to a liberal arts college for the bachelor. It's relatively famous in the area. Frank Marshall, and then I went to Penn for the master for MBA.
So you're not gonna mention the
Right, that well, Penn is enough for the MBA. I think people will figure it out. It's like but if I talk about the school, that would be like too showing off, I guess.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, without saying it, it's already showing off, Frank. Well, everybody's going to be digging into it. So,
yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, like earlier when we were talking in the chat rooms, and I actually talked to Frank before that conversation, but I didn't know that Frank is married. I thought Frank is only in his 20s or something, right? So how old are you right now?
My voice is deceptive. I'm 31.
Okay. And you're happily married right now.
Where did you meet your partner? In the States or back in China?
Oh, in the States. We went to the same college.
Got it. So love butts at the during your academic studies, and then
right.
So do you think the relationship between you and wife could be slightly different from the ones that you just like when people grow up, they just randomly bump into someone when they're working or when they're just having fun or something? But you guys are obviously studying in a different country, right? So I think the bond could be a little bit different, I guess.
I would say it's a lot different than especially we're in Shanghai right now. It's a lot different with our friends. Because I think we have this not really sure traditional you could call it, or even sometimes American idea of the couple. You try to synchronize everything between the couple. You tell each other everything. My wife knows my phone's password. She can have it, unlock it, and check it any single time. But she haven't did, but she could, right? And I think it's because we go through a lot of things together, especially at the time we try to stay in the States as a first generation immigrants. It's gonna be, especially nowadays, it's really tough for us to face different cultures, even though we studied there. So we had each other's back when we were there. So the bonding, I guess, is different than most of the people when they got married.
Yeah.
So did you meet in college or in your master's program?
I met her in college, in the bachelor.
Got it.
So what was the most memorable moments that you remembered from the relationship that you had with your wife when you were still dating?
Oh, should I say this? It's going to be damage to my personal image, but anyway. So,
why would that be?
Well, before my wife, I dated a lot. She knows every single of my ex-girlfriend. No, except the ones from high school. She knows every single one I dated, I slept with in the college.
Okay.
So
yeah, but when you mean she knows, meaning that you told her about it, or she met many of them?
here's the thing. In liberal arts, especially college, especially in the States, it's a small college. We only have 1,500 students in the entire college for the bachelors. So everyone knows everyone.
Okay.
So like
so in a way, it's a small community that people you've dated in that college community, pretty much everybody knows everybody. So if you have dated in that pool, then she probably will know. Like if you mention, oh, you know what, I dated Kate. She probably have met Kate or have communicated with Kate before. Yeah, got it.
Right. So she used to hang out with a bunch of Chinese students. I don't really hang out with the Chinese students at the time. I don't know because like I try to improve my English. I don't know what's wrong with me at the time though. But I didn't know at the time the Chinese girls, especially in the college, they they think me as a playboy and as a bad guy.
Yeah, I heard. I have never met. I have never seen Frank before. Right? I don't even know how he looks like, but I heard that. I was told that he's pretty handsome. Yeah.
So 有渣，已经本身就是外表就有渣男的潜质是吗
？Right. So when I started dating with her best friend at the time was like actually asking her, "Are you sure? You want to date with a Frank? Because he might cheat on you." And like my friend at the time told me to not date her, to date my wife, because it's gonna ruin her reputations. Like my friend at the time actually, like he's from Indonesia. He actually genuinely told me to not date her. It was like, if you actually like the girl, don't date her, because you're gonna destroy her reputation in the college. I didn't know I had that bad reputation at the time though. But so actually me and my wife actually asked my wife out and asked her like, hey, my friend told me this, and I heard like your friend told you to not date me as well. Like, are you sure you won't be together? My wife was like so cool at the time. She was like, I don't care what they say. So that's the shock moment I had with my wife. I was like, this girl is so cool. I didn't know she was that cool. Right. When she's determined to do something, she's 100% dedicated to that.
All right.
Right. She has her own kind of thought process, and then she wants to experience things herself, making her own decisions.
Right. She's not easily influenced by the others. Like unlike her, I'm very much easily influenced by the others. So I think like she has this quality that I don't have. Like I always admire it. Yeah, I think
so
that's
beyond that, what was the, you've mentioned that you've dated many girls, right, in college, and what was the moment, or what was the quality that you say, wow, this is the girl I want to marry? Like how is she different from all the girls that you've dated? Like what was so stood out?
To be honest, I never thought about marrying her. Okay. I was like, we were still dating at the time. And luckily, like I got the visa that could let me to the immigration for the permanent residency.
Permanent residency. Okay.
Right. So my parents was like, just marry her. And I thought about it. I was like, wow. At the time, I dated her for like 4 years already, and we never had a fight. Like I felt comfortable with her, and I never thought about other girls and cheating or anything. Right. So I was like, okay, maybe she's the one. So I know why my mom pushed it though, because my mom hated I dated Caucasians and other Asians that don't speak Chinese.
Okay.
She just wanted a Chinese daughter-in-law.
Right.
Okay.
Right. She's like, well, it's been 4 years. Grab her while you can.
Right. Like if it's not her, maybe it's some Americans that don't speak Chinese, and it's gonna be hard for the family. Right. But anyway, and that's basically how I decided to marry her.
You mentioned that you were able to get PR. Did you get the PR and then get married?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a PR.
But what is that? Like, I mean, the adaptations, right? I guess you have been in United States for so many years, right? Then you're in China right now. So did it take you a long time to adapt to China again?
Yes and no. I do miss the families here. So the whole family thing is so good to feel. Sometimes feel a little bit lonely because it's only me and my wife over there. But the most reverse culture shock is actually come from the workplace. So like as I mentioned, after I graduated from the colleges and then masters, I started working in the States directly. So I never actually I had an internship one summer, 3 months in China, and that was it. I never actually experienced the official working culture here. So the whole working culture, especially in Shanghai, is such a huge reverse culture shock to me, especially when I first came back. I was in a company, and I was parachuted to be a regional manager over there. And I faced a lot of challenges and backstabbing that you couldn't imagine when you were in the States.
Do you think it stem from the competitiveness in terms of?
Right, it's definitely coming from the rat race. It's also doing with the fact that I was parachuted to the position.
Right, like, right. You didn't prove yourself to anybody else, right? Nobody knows who you are really, right?
Right, and my preferred way of doing the leadership is so different than the PUA style thing here in China. So it actually made them to rebellion a little bit.
So how long did you stay in that position?
I stayed there for it actually took me less than 6 months, and decided to quit it and to join a new startup company. Because I'm not really used to the whole corporate culture here.
But have you ever thought about having a kid in the future?
No.
Why not?
I'm not really into kids. And I don't think I can carry the responsibility of having kids.
What about your wife?
I don't think she likes kids as well. But I don't know. I don't know whether she wants kids or not. We never actually talk about it.
Wait, but you're in China now. I mean, for
we definitely have the pressure. My mom got me tested. My mom
is it because you're not willing or you're not able?
My mom was like, I'm not willing, I'm not able. Like she tricked me into the health examinations and there's one examination. I was like, why I need to do this? And then the doctor told me, well, it's in your like routine. Like for the examinations, are you going to do it or not? I was like, what the heck? I figured out this is my mom's trick. I did it anyway. Right. But my mom started to, blame my wife to, she thinks it might be because of my wife pushing me to not having kids.
She was the one who influenced you not to have kids.
Right. I think I would compromise though.
When I realized that Frank is in his 30s and his wife is basically the same age, then I do think there's it's just a biological clock is there, right? Yeah. So I could imagine how much pressure they're facing right now.
Right, but luckily we're in Shanghai, so like people in Shanghai don't have kids. If you're checking out the elders on the street, even they have the baby car, it's not the baby sitting inside the car. Usually it's dog. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think as the society progresses, like the traditional type of family, right, married with kids, it might be, I mean, even today, the marriage as an institution might be outdated, to be honest. So marriage with kids are not, it doesn't have to be the kind of track of life, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, another thing is, like, me and my wife, we were registered as a married couple in the States. We are not registered here in China.
Oh.
Well, it is recognized. I mean, you can't go back to China and say, you know what, since we don't have a marriage certificate or 小本本 in China, right?
No,
you're going to marry somebody else?
Right. If we have the, because you need the 公证 from the embassies. So actually for the China system to recognize it as a married couple.
Oh, is it? Wow.
Right. We didn't do that. So because we came back in a rush. So if we ever have a kid, she's gonna be registered as a single mom.
Oh, really?
哦，那在这边就是 OK。哦哟。
And and we
这个还
cannot
要公
register.
证的吗？这个还要公
要
证的。
第一次
公证，
听说。
要公证，要公证。Like if we register here in China as well, the marriage day will be different than the one we had in the States. That might cause the trouble in the future as well.
啊，你的意思是说，其实我的理解就，其实你虽然在美国已经结婚过了，正式的结婚过了 ，register 了，但是你去中国的时候还要去领事馆拿一份证明，然后再去结婚，再去领一个证，对吗？
不，那你领不到证了，但是你做完这个公证之后，Chinese 这个 system 里面，就比如说户口上你就 register 是已婚，但我现在户口还是单身。
就不用领证，但是你那个 register 的 date 变成了一个 OK。
对，
是某种意义上你现在是单身的，我的妈呀！
对，但如果比如说我跟我老婆在国内也领证了，那就有另外一个结婚的日期。Day and year will be different, right?
就它的 register date 是 different 的，对吧？
对 ，register date 因为 different 之后，然后它某种意义上来说算重婚
啊
，by the US system。
哦，
那也不算啊，因为你重婚是重婚跟别人，
对啊，
不是同一个人，应该
不是是，如果你要走那个 immigration process 的话，你的 marriage day 就有2个，然后他就会 confuse。我之前有朋友就这样，然后出事儿。对，
这是什么奇葩？
对，他会 double check， 就是说，因为这个其实他就怕你说是，就是你不是真正的 couple， 然后你走这个 process 嘛。
对，
okay.
其实但是你已经有了 PR 了，所以说应该是没有什么问题。
其实没什么问题，
对，因为你不需要再走这个程序了。如果比如说按你那么说，就是说你已经在 married in US。Did not get the PR. Then when you went back to China and re-register and you want to go through the process of obtaining PR, then that might create confusion, right?
Right. 反正对我们来说也不是什么事，我们就不弄了，后面再去 embassy 再公证再说。
有用的时候再说，对。But then you're so young, right? So what do you see in terms of like foreseeable future? Like what's your long-term perspective? Are you gonna foresee yourself like working and living in China, or you're open to different possibilities?
Well, like I'm thinking about retiring in the States. Like I don't really want to retire in China right now, but in terms of the working opportunities, especially in the reality we're facing right now, I'm actually having more opportunities in China.
Got it.
So I'm just trying to to make some money and grab a like maybe once in a lifetime opportunity here.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Right, to fulfill my personal expectations for my career.
Then what do you do for fun?
Obviously 抖音 chatting room.
Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Like I'll do gaming. I think gaming will be the most. What else? Hang out with the friends. Have a few drinks. Maybe sometimes basketball. Like it's really hard to find people to actually play here.
I thought okay, so probably Frank may have some weird hobbies, a weird talent.
Weird talent. Oh, let me think. Not really. Like I'm pretty average by the standard.
Okay. Not even the useless kind of talent, huh?
Yeah, not even the useless talent.
Okay. So our last question. If you were to have a superpower and you don't really have to take responsibility or there would be no consequences, what kind of superpower you would like to have and why?
Oh, teleport.
What is teleport? So you just go somewhere like in a minute.
Yeah, right. Teleportations.
So like an instant transfer from one place to another distance wise.
Right.
Well, he's so needed by people, right?
Right.
So why?
Well, first of all, it would solve all the issues I have. Like right now, like I'm kind of baffling between like U.S. and China. Like if I have a teleportations, it's like it's not a problem for me anymore.
Second, your wife is not in China.
No, she is in China.
Oh, she is in China.
No, but for work, she's
For
for
work.
whatever the work or life that he's kind of in between, right? Traveling between
Right.
China and the US.
Right.
Okay.
So and second, I love to visit a lot of places. Even though 12 years in the States, I don't really visit a lot of places, even in the States. So I think my college life was basically wasted by partying, and I was poor at the time. And after graduating from college, I started working. So I actually took my MBA while I was working. So I didn't really have a lot of free time as many others did. So yeah, I never visit a lot of places. And me and my wife would never actually took meaningful vacations. I think we had one trip to Los Angeles and one trip to Orlando Disney World, and that was it. Like we'll visit France once, and right out of 12 years, right, in the States. So if I have the teleportations, I would love to visit a lot of places and check a lot of the tourism spots.
And hopefully you guys can just travel to as many places as you could in the future. Yeah.
Thank you.
Because traveling is kind of important for the couples as well, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do enjoy travel a lot.
Nice experience. And sometimes like couples may argue, but life is always about creating memories, right? Like if you guys are just like, because my life is like this right now. Like basically I'm just staying at home, right? I actually don't really have the chance to create some new memories for myself. Then when I probably 10 years later, when I look back and okay, so what was I doing when I was 39 or something? Oh, I was staying at home, boring. Right? Yeah. So traveling is seriously nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Actually, I read a podcast. I listened to a podcast that actually mentioned, I think, Radio Lab, right? I introduced it to you. That actually talked about how time is actually different when we are experiencing different things, right? So when we are experiencing something that's out of ordinary, right? Let's say you're making a memorable trip somewhere, or you're doing some kind of extreme sports, the time actually elongates. So actually, in a way, you live longer, right? So think about it. During the pandemic, 3 years, everybody says, wow, it's like suddenly 3 years, right? 3 years later, the 3 years in a way, from a kind of measuring standard, it's exactly the same for everyone. But in terms of, for some people, it's long, for some people, it's short, right? And for people like us, we look compared to other period of our life, 3 years are really short because there is no memorable experience that was happening in that 3 years. It was just repetitive, right?
Yeah. Go traveling when you get the time in the future, Frank. And hopefully you guys get to, travel around the world, even make this 14 plus 7 plus 2 kind of challenge.
I'm sure, first of all, Frank is a lot younger than we are, so plenty of time and plenty of, he's in a hot field, right? So maybe in 2 years, he's going to be a billionaire. And then he's like, oh, you know what? Forget about teleportation. I'll get my own jet.
Right.
Supersonic jet.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
So many possibilities. And this is Frank. And we get to know Frank a little bit more today. So thank you, Frank. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you, Mark.
So I guess I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.